Cheers.
Cheers.
It's been a nice, easy day.
Yeah, another 3 points.
Another 3 points.
That's the bottom line. Anyway. That's the bottom line. 14 to go. Another one chalked off.
Tick.
You know that meme site? They have they done one for one? No, hang on. What was I just thinking? Not one game at a time. Banana skin. Have they done a banana skin?
Oh, I don't know.
I think they've done banana skin as well, because today was a banana skin, banana skin, as was last week. And I just think to get 6 points from 2 consecutive away games against Villa and Leicester, I think that's pretty impressive.
Take that.
Yeah, well, you think the Man City's had 2 away games as well against Forest and Bournemouth. And on paper, those 2 games are far easier than the 2 games that we've had. And they've got 4 points and we've picked up 6. So I think that's pretty good. Now, so did you catch any of it?
Well, it was an away game I didn't go to, so it was very much listen on the Arsenal player and follow the game that way, which I must say was very impressive. They are very slick. I don't listen to other clubs, media sort of outlets, but then compared to some, national broadcasters, it still manages to stay fairly reasonable and rational whilst being very much through the prism of, just looking at it from an Adrian Clark is a very good.
Yeah, he's really.
Player. I've
watched him do he does the breakdown or what's that he does after each game.
That's it. Yeah, that's their sort of post-match tactics show. So he does a lot on tactics, but I know he does a lot of work for. I assume it's the Athletic, and he covers a lot of EFL as well as obviously being very much entrenched in Arsenal. But he does that mix of, he can be analytical and look at it from a tactical point of view, but you do get the sense that he's just a real fan of football. If there's a good pass, if there's something artistic, he just celebrates that like a fan.
And he's ex-Arsenal, isn't he? So
that always helps, doesn't it? Yeah. One thing that seems to have been the main vibe, though, like even listening throughout, and it's very much there's a disconnect between the way certain either pundits, but mainly ex-players see it, and then the way fans see it. I very much felt like, it's a bit nervy today, but the whole time he's going, look, Arsenal are in control here. Leicester haven't really laid a glove on Arsenal at all. Yes, we could have created more ourselves. Yes, we could have been a bit more incisive, but at the same time, is that
because we didn't see it? We couldn't see it.
No, and that's the thing, isn't it? It's hard to always judge it when you haven't watched it. Listening is, I was saying, because my wife was obviously pottering around the house as well while I was listening to it, and I did say to her, I said that I love listening to commentators on the radio. They're just very eloquent. They do paint the pictures brilliantly, but they do also have this habit of the moment the ball is even in the vicinity of the goal, they go very high pitched, speak very quickly, get very excited. So you think maybe something is more dramatic. It is, yeah. So there were a few occasions where I thought, there's something going on here. But I'm sure when I watch highlights back when they're shown later, I'll think, actually, that was not much going on.
Yeah, but I think Alan Green, a Dublin radio station, used to pick up Alan Green's commentary from Radio London or something like that on the Arsenal games. And I nearly crashed the car several times driving around Dublin. I listened to him commentating on Arsenal games.
I struggled with Alan Green for 2 reasons, to be honest. One, because when I listened to him, I didn't feel like he liked football. It seemed to me, whether I just happened to listen to him all the time, he was covering a really boring game, I don't know. But then the other one was, and we've all got these verbal tics, I'm sure I've got them as a teacher, especially an English teacher, I'm very aware of them. But someone pointed out that he has a habit of saying, goodness gracious, and that was it. The moment they pointed that out, that was all I could hear. And it just ruins listening to Alan Green. Goodness gracious.
I liked him because he was not very shy about his dislike of Sir Alex Ferguson or his antics at Manchester United. more
Well,
forward.
anything. He was a bit of one of these PFMs, a proper football man. He didn't like diving. He didn't like time wasting. Yeah, he didn't like mind games. You know,
Sign me up.
Something in that. Well, there's something in that.
Yeah. Okay. Clean sheet. That was a long time coming.
That's the best. That's the best thing. Clean sheet. I know Leicester. Well, I must admit, the turning point for me, I felt much more relaxed when Maddison wasn't named in the squad.
Absolutely.
Maddison is central to everything that Leicester does really well. You know, I'm in Norfolk and I know Maddison from his time at Norwich, and he is a special player. So for him not to be creating in the same sort of way, I knew that Leicester would lose an awful lot without him in the side. But even so, it sounds like we really kept them at bay.
And we started very well. I think their first shot, their only shot in the entire game, was the 72nd minute.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so that's like away from home against a team. And I saw the first 20 minutes of their match at Old Trafford. I stopped watching them because it was giving me the heebie-jeebies, because I was thinking of this weekend. They battered United in the first 20 minutes. De Gea made a couple of worldies, and I was like, oh my God. Well, I don't want them to play like this against us.
United go and win 3 bloody 0.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I was a bit of a surprise.
And it's the same Leicester team, albeit minus Maddison, that beat Spurs 4-1.
Yeah,
you know, it's one of them.
Yeah, they did.
That's why you just kind of put it into perspective. Actually, that today was a good win.
Yeah. It was
really good.
Like brilliant, like potential banana skin. I keep saying it. As was Villa. I mean, look, to be fair, in the Premier League, any away game's a potential banana skin. Look at Forest getting a draw against Man City last weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1-0. Kind of it gave us a look to the table. Gave us an idea of what the table will hopefully look like on Wednesday night, when everyone's played the same. The games have equaled out. We've all played 24, 25 games. Or ourselves and City will have played 25 games. I don't know when are United playing next?
I don't know. Well, because they've obviously got their League Cup final tomorrow.
Yeah, so they're not playing midweek.
No.
Interesting. They're playing. Oh God, their next league games next Sunday away at Anfield.
Yes.
Come on,
Anfield.
Liverpool.
Well, Liverpool are playing now against Palace. I don't know how they're doing, but
it was 0-0.
They are very sort of hit and miss at the moment, Liverpool, even in the same game.
Yeah, it's half time 0-0.
Yeah, against the not great Palace side. Well, I mean, we love Paddy Vieira, but Palace are just kind of, you look at that squad and you think that is very much a lower half of the table squad, isn't it?
Yes.
A couple of good youngsters in there. Solid, good side on their day, but I don't know.
Well, interestingly, I'm just looking at, just because I was looking at, see if United were playing next weekend. We're playing Everton on Wednesday, obviously, and then we're home to Bournemouth at 3:00 on Saturday. However, Man City are at home to Newcastle in the 12:30 kickoff on Saturday.
Problem is, you've got this thing now, because Newcastle, frankly, have gone off the boil ever since they've made their cup final. They've not quite been the same pack and organised team that.
Well, they've lost Bruno Guimaraes in the middle as well.
He's vitally important. Nick Pope had a complete rush of blood to the head against Liverpool.
He did, yeah.
So those sorts of things can happen, and we've been saying all season, that they are a kind of similar situation to us in that, when everyone's fit and ready to and raring to go, they can hold their own against anyone. But actually, that depth, once you chip away at it, does start.
Yeah, see, okay, you say that. But they lost 2-0, and they lost 2-0 to Liverpool, but they were down to 10 men for an hour. They still created the better chances. So, and they'll have had a week or 6 days to recover from the cup final. I can't make my mind up whether they'll be, is it better if they win?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Psychologically, if they win, is it party time? Are they treated like gods, so they think they can walk on water and then City come and just wallop them? Or do they lose and have a point to prove or do they lose and capitulate? It's such
well,
a
actually,
fine line.
it's a really important game, the league game for them, because with their game in hand, they go fourth.
Yes.
So they've still got a real fight at a top 4 spot. If they were to lose against City and, I don't know, Spurs beat Chelsea tomorrow, for example, or then that top 4 starts to really slip away from them.
Yeah.
And that's when you'd get that all of a sudden they'd be feeling a lot more tired than they are, that kind of thing. But yeah, their form or their results have dropped since they qualified for the final. So that's obviously psychological. This is a generational game for their fans. It's like
1950 something, wasn't it?
Yeah. What is it, like 23 years since they were in a final? Was that
in their final at all? Yeah, exactly.
Is that the FA Cup final when they lost to United, I think, but United beat us in the semi-final and we beat them in the final the year before. I think that was 98, something like that. But anyway, so win our next 2 home games. To take it weeks ahead. Win our next 2 home games, and then it's Europa League after that, isn't it? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So on that, we were drawn Sporting Lisbon. How do you feel?
To be fair, I think there could have been a lot worse than that. They're 3rd or 4th in the Portuguese Primeira division. I looked at the ironically, I don't know. United had to play Barcelona. They had to play one of the teams that dropped out of the Champions League, which is fair enough. But their potential opponents in the next round were far inferior to our potential opponents in the next round. Because we could have got Juventus or who else was there? Certainly could have got Juventus. There's someone else.
I didn't want Shakhtar for mainly narrative reasons.
So. Yeah, and then there was Union Berlin, who are, you might not fear, but they're actually having a fantastic season.
They're doing amazing in Bundesliga.
But I think Sporting Lisbon, I think they're not doing, 4th in the Portuguese league. Come on, that's not enough for us to worry about, surely.
But the problem, who knows where?
Do you want your narrative though?
Well, yeah. There's a ex-Spurs player there, isn't there?
More than that, there's Bellerin.
Is Bellerin there? Because I thought that was the case, and then I said it to someone I knew who said, "Oh, they're not there, are they?" Yeah. But I did think he was. Bellerin
gets to say goodbye.
I loved Bellerin.
Yeah.
He was never the same after. Do you remember that Chelsea game when his knee just collapsed?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. He lost his pace. He lost his pace.
Badly. What a guy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I won't be at the game. It's midweek, but I'm absolutely sure he'll get a fantastic reception from the Arsenal crowd. I mean, he absolutely should.
Everyone should be able to remember his debut. Was it against Dortmund in the Champions League?
I don't remember.
He was electric. He was electric. Wait, were you there?
I don't know. I don't remember it. So everyone should remember it. I obviously wasn't there. I don't know.
He was electric. When we won 2-0 in Dortmund. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea what game you're talking about.
We haven't won at Dortmund many times. If that might even be the only time. So yeah, there you go.
Still nothing. Nothing. Is that in that little piddly Champions League tournament?
Probably would have been, yeah.
It's not Europa League. Come on.
Well, that's the thing. We were talking about how many games left to overcome City, but actually, that gap now, I mean, top 4 just looks almost.
No.
Almost.
See?
Why am I doing it? Why am I doing it?
It's still. If Newcastle win their game in hand, it's still 13-point gap to 5th.
Which, that could be easily lost, isn't it?
No, sorry, I'm absolutely wrong with that. It's because Newcastle. No, I'm wrong. It's a 15-point gap.
But still,
that's 5 games. Yeah,
5
14
games.
To go. I mean,
5 games win.
The likelihood of us, not only us losing the equivalent to 5 games in points, which we could easily do with some of the games we've got left. they're really difficult. Away to City, away to Newcastle, away to Liverpool, home to Chelsea. There's 12 points. We could lose all those games, and there's 12 points we've lost. But that would require Spurs to win that number of points more than us, and that's what makes it more unlikely. Not us not dropping those points, but no, I think I said to you before the Villa game that Arsenal's next 6 games, if you're looking at points accrual, is that a word? I don't know. Villa away, Leicester away, 6 points. That's fantastic. That is. Everton home, Bournemouth home. All right, come on, that has to be 6 points. You're very, very disappointed if that's not 6 points. Fulham away, Palace at home. That's the end. That's those 6 games. Fulham away, they're having a really good season, but I don't know. Is Mitrovic playing at the moment? No, he's
been injured.
Watch him come back.
And
yes, I know what you're going to say.
I didn't watch it last night. I was out, but Polina got booked for Fulham, so we'll miss 2 games, and that includes the game against us. And he's been their sort of midfield dynamo. Oh,
right. So he's done 10 bookings already.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
because of what he does so well in midfield.
Yeah.
He's got 10 bookings already.
Okay, excellent. I thought you were going to say that Dominic Calvert-Lewin, another striker's he's unlikely to play against us on Wednesday.
Right. I think that is more of a curse, because who's going to play in his place?
Oh, Mope. Yeah, no, it's like...
And doesn't he like to wind up Arsenal?
Yeah, but Arteta won't have it. It's Arsenal players, but Arsenal will be kind of like that. Well, I know I am. I'm looking forward. I really want to put that team in their place, but you never know. There's your narrative peeking up. They've lost. They were awful at Liverpool. They lost at home today. Again, last season they were on an 8-game. This is Everton. 8-game losing streak, or not without a win. Played us at Goodison, beat us. And their next 7 games, they failed to win. They're doing it again. It's mad. So look, Everton and Bournemouth at home, Fulham away, Crystal Palace at home. That should, air quotes, should be, what's that, 12 points? Should. Oh, right. I can take that one game further. Leeds at home. April Fool's Day, great. Leeds at home. That's 15 points for the next 5 games.
So we're in the 70s in terms of points.
Well, yes, we are, and that's amazing. That's 5 games from now, and that's would leave 9 games to go. All right, then we've got Liverpool away and West Ham away.
Oh dear.
Southampton home, Man City away. So, right, 3 of those 4 games are, one of them, West Ham away, banana skin territory. Liverpool away, City away. You could get tanked in those games. Old Arsenal certainly would. Right. So keep that in mind. 5. I'm not done this. I'm doing this live as such. 5 games. Those 5 games. Were they 4 home and 1 away? They were, I think.
Well, no, you've said that.
It was Everton, Bournemouth.
Home. Fulham away.
Fulham
Palace
away.
Home.
Palace home and Leeds home. Yeah.
Leeds home. Lots of home games.
4, right. Okay, so Man City then. I'll do the next 5 games for Man City. No, I'll do the next 4 games because that keeps us, that will have us on the same games played.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're home to Newcastle.
Tricky.
Away to Crystal Palace.
See how it goes, but they should win.
They should. Home to West Ham.
Again, they'll win because Moyes' record is dreadful.
And on the morning that we're at home to Leeds, they're at home to Liverpool.
Well, that's the spicy one, isn't it, for them now? that's this new sort of rivalry. And Liverpool should really, if they can manage to get a result against Palace, they should be knocking on the door of top 4, because especially given the way their cup competitions have gone, they have to make top 4.
Yeah.
And Newcastle will be stretched. Tottenham are just so unpredictable.
Yeah, you can't work that team out.
And you can't necessarily see Brighton and Fulham sustaining it as much. And Liverpool have got the players to be good enough to go on a run to get the top 4. They've got a couple of games in hand themselves, I think. So
okay,
Liverpool will want to.
So we've got a nicer run of fixtures to get us to, what would that be? 31. So that's 9. Did I say 9 games? 8 games to go.
Yeah, but it just doesn't.
Wait. 9 games to go. That'd be 9 games to go. Right. So we're on paper, we've got a nicer run of games than Man City's. Then Man City have away to Southampton, home to Leicester. Right. So you think they'd get 6 points from those two. Then their next 3 games, the last 3 games in April. 23rd of April, away to Brighton. That's tough. 3 days later, they're home to us. And then 4 days after that, they're away to Fulham.
What games have we got around the Man City game?
Yeah, okay, hang on.
Is that Saints and Newcastle, I think?
I think it's Chelsea, but I'm not sure.
Oh.
What date was this Man City game? Yeah. So we're home to Southampton on the 21st. So we've got a longer rest period before. We've got an extra 2 days to prepare for their game.
But that's still down as the Friday, but...
Oh, it could be the Sunday, yeah.
It's probably likely to be the Sunday.
Okay, well, in that case, then we'll have the same preparation time. But home to Southampton is not away to Brighton. They're away to Brighton.
No, yeah.
And then we're away to them on the 26th. And then the 5:30 game on the 29th of April, the Saturday, is home to Chelsea. Now, that is going to be a spiky affair.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, I mean, even the City game, that City game is going to be massive.
I hope so. I hope it is, because it means I hope it's a bigger game for them than it is for us. Because you can just see that, Guardiola said to them before they came to our place, look, if they beat us, we're out. It's over. That's why they celebrated the way they did.
Yeah.
It was clear that, and of course that would have been the last words. Those words have been ringing in their ears as they took to the field. You lose, the league's over. We won't catch them. They're not going to drop that many points. And if they beat us, I don't know what the lead would be. But anyway, so I'm hoping it's the same scenario for that game. But again, I loved it. Arteta was interviewed after, and he's like, do you think you're over the blip? And he's just concentrate on the next game. Everton at home on Wednesday. Love it. That's it. That's all it is. Focus on the next game. Focus on the next game. I can do this. I can trail off to the end of April all I like, but the players won't. Well, he won't. They won't in there. I'm sure privately they've had a little look. But nice touch today, giving Zinchenko the captaincy. I thought it was really nice.
And by all accounts, that was an Odegaard suggestion.
All right. Which
is even just amazing.
Yeah.
As if you needed any more reasons to love this team and the club and everything they're about at the minute.
Right. What about the little shenanigans between the two centre-backs at the end of the game? Something went on between Gabriel and Saliba, and Saliba was seen pushing Gabriel away.
I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah. So I don't know what that was about at all. Obviously, it wasn't on the telly, so we weren't watching it.
It wasn't in that overly kind of masculine celebratory way.
I don't think so. It was Gunnerblog who tweeted it, and then I know one of the players has spoken positively about the other player, saying, "I love playing with him." So I think it's much ado about nothing.
After a clean sheet.
Well, maybe something happened right at the very end, like one of them to potentially risk the clean sheet. I don't know. Yeah. I just couldn't see it. I did read through Arsblog's player ratings, as I do ritualistically after every game, and he just like Gabriel, Saliba. Since most people have said that Saliba was back to his best today, that whatever that little dip in form post World Cup he had. That today he was imperious, and that's important. I mean, they are two, like, they're beasts, the two of them at the back there, and them on form. And I thought, you sent me a tweet, kind of praising Jorginho's statistics in the game.
Yeah, especially his defensive statistics.
Well,
no one ever doubted his possession and passing.
Right, so his forwards, like last week against Villa, he made 14 forward passes, and that was the joint most in the league for any player this season, I think. And today he made 15. He went one better. So he's very progressive with his use of the ball. And interestingly, he took Ødegaard off and brought Partey on, which I thought was quite interesting. And we had the two VAR decisions. Now, interestingly, on the goal that was disallowed, I haven't seen it, and I'll make my own mind up when I've watched Match of the Day.
I've only seen a shot, a still image.
Right, Paul Merson said VAR got it absolutely right.
Yeah, Adrian Clark on the commentary said, actually, I can see why they've not allowed it.
Was it a clear and did the issue I seen come through on Twitter was that, well, okay, if that was two things, if that was a foul, then the tug on Saka in the penalty box was also a foul, and that should be a penalty.
Which is what Adrian Clark also said.
Right, okay. And the other thing was, well, was it a clear and obvious error?
No, it was a technical decision, really.
So it shouldn't have been overturned in terms of the Trossard goal. But actually, Trossard scored that goal, but apparently his assist for Martinelli, and I haven't seen the goal, I'm looking forward to seeing it. His assist for Martinelli's goal was a bit special as well. So he's actually...
How good has he been? Yeah, he's actually
made a bit of a difference. And if you
exactly
think about
the addition we needed.
And if you think about, and I know this is not fair on either player, because circumstances and contexts are very different, but if we compare his impact with us to Mudrik's impact with Chelsea, it's chalk and cheese for a fraction of the money. But we've bought experience.
But I think there's also an element of Trossard has gone into a harmonious and a collective that is pulling in the same direction. Chelsea really is just a bowl of ingredients at the minute, and there's absolutely no, mix.
There's no recipe.
There's no recipe for it. And Potter needs a little bit more time to simmer things and
bring it
to the boil.
Stop.
Sorry.
You're over egging it now.
Oh no.
Get in.
Yeah. So Trossard, had slightly favourable conditions, but has absolutely stepped up. He's still got to do it. You know what I mean? He's still got to show that. So, yeah, fair credit to him, and especially playing. He's played in a couple of positions now. He started through the middle today and then switched.
Well, again, he was Brighton's top scorer this season.
Well, exactly, yeah.
So he's not unaware where the goal is, and he'll be obviously a bit disappointed on a personal level that his goal didn't stand. But actually, he's got that same character.
Yeah.
That look, the win is where it's at. It doesn't matter about who. Like I said, I tweeted earlier. I said I don't care how we win. Just any. It is actually it's the same for any game. Every remaining
between
game
now and the end of the season.
Performance is irrelevant from now on.
But the performance was good.
No, it was.
In our last few games, even though the results haven't always been great, like we are dominating possession, and it's like that thing we mentioned a couple of weeks ago. What the manager is looking for is a high level of consistency, and that means fewer individual errors, more control of the ball, more intense pressing when you lose the ball. And we have been doing that. Yeah, of course, we could create more chances and score more goals and make life easier for ourselves. And Arteta's said that. But law of averages says that if you do those things, control the ball, etc., you will get that.
You will win games. Yeah,
exactly. And it was funny playing Leicester today because it reminded me of that when they won the title in 2016. They had those really standout results against the likes of Liverpool and Man City around Christmas, New Year time. and then really their running to the finish line was a bit much more controlled. You know, they were sneaking games 1-2-0. You know, they weren't blowing teams away because they were just hitting people on the counter and going 2-3 up earlier on in the season. It was all a little bit basketball sort of style, end to end. Whereas towards the end, and they could see the end was in sight. You know, they just
hunkered down,
batten down the hatches, and all that kind of thing. We're going to torture some more metaphors here, and it's that kind of thing, isn't it? You know, if today was about a more controlled performance to get a 1-0 win away from home, so be it. It's not good for the nerves,
no,
from a fan point of view, but God, we'd rather be in this position than not.
It is nice to channel our inner George Graham and 1-0 to the Arsenal. Like, you know, we won a couple of titles off the back of that, and no one was complaining about that. And
sorry, funnily enough, because last night I wasn't watching the Wolves Fulham game because I was out, and we were at a supporters club, a get together, which involved a quiz as well. And there was a brilliant fact about the fact, I can't remember the exact year, but I think it was something like 1931. Arsenal won the title, scoring fewer goals than Man City, who got relegated that season. Because defences win titles.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about how many you concede.
That's City, what Mourinho
buckets loads of goals.
That's what Mourinho
made a career out of it.
Yeah.
So let's get those clean sheets back. Let's get that going again.
Well, we have a nice run of games in which to do that. So I honestly, to go, you know, we're 2 points clear with the game in hand. I don't think, knowing like how strong the Premier League is, you know, how strong the lesser teams are. And you look at Southampton, bottom, went to Chelsea and won 1-0 last week. Okay, they lost. Yeah, for sure. They lost today at Leeds, which is probably more critical for them because their rivals gained 3 points as well. But on their day, any team can beat any team. And I know it's a cliche, but I've lost what the hell was my point.
It is true. And so, you know, us trying to pursue those clean sheets won't be easy.
Oh, yeah.
But if you can get into a rhythm and you can get into that mindset of, you know, none shall pass, then hopefully we can.
Yeah, and I think with all that I was saying in mind, how strong the Premier League is, we could not have at this stage in the season a kinder set of 5 games ahead. I'm not saying we'll win them, but if we don't win them, it's on us. Because in terms of Fulham away is the hardest game of the next 5.
Yes.
Right? Now that's a low, what's the word?
Tariff?
Yeah, isn't it? It's like, when you think, I don't know what position Fulham are in the league.
They are 6th.
But they've played like 3 games more than those around them, haven't they?
Yeah, they played 25 like Man City. Yeah.
And like Brighton are below them, but they've only played 22 or 3.
That's right.
So it's there for us at the moment, those 5 games, to like, will City win their next 4 games? Well, they might well win their next 4 games. So it's imperative that we win our next 5 games, because that puts us level on games played.
Yeah.
And so we'd have a 5-point lead. You know, that's.
Orbinho put out a tweet earlier of
was it consecutive wins?
Yeah. I found it baffling, because I would have been, if someone had told me that we've only put, is it 3 or 4 consecutive wins together?
I think when we 5, City 3, us 5, and Newcastle 6.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but even then, I would have probably gone for maybe slightly higher than 5. But either way, the fact that Newcastle have done 6 and City have only done 3.
3. That's the shocking one.
Yeah.
Let that continue. I'll say it now. If that continues for the rest of the season, we'll win the league.
Big if, though, isn't it? Yeah. They seem to be hitting something of a groove again, don't they?
I don't know. They drew the last 2 games before today, 1-1.
Yeah, good point.
But they won it. They created enough chances in each of those games to win several games.
Oh, they should have been out of sight. I watched the Leipzig game. They should have been.
No, see, I didn't watch that game, but the Forest game was. I mean, the Haaland double miss was.
But Leipzig were weird because Leipzig did the whole Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope tactic. First half, they seemed totally content just to soak up pressure. Yes, they conceded a goal, but that was it. And they just let City have the ball. And then second half, they were like literally a different team. They made a change. They brought on a young striker, and I can't remember his name. Was it Nkunku? I don't know, but either way, they brought someone on.
Is he the one going to Chelsea?
Whole new, yeah, he must have gone to Chelsea. So it's someone else, but either way.
No. I think he's the one that's going to Chelsea.
Right.
Isn't that it?
He gave them a whole new dynamic because they just had so much more presence, so much more energy up front, and that got at City. It really did. They had to completely change their tact, and yeah, Leipzig, got.
Well, it's interesting. De Bruyne didn't start today.
He's been ill.
But he's been ill before as well, wasn't he? He had he missed a game I think there's something going on there.
You think?
Yeah, and what's his form like?
Do you think De Bruyne's? Well, I think his form's fine, but do you think De Bruyne's annoyed that they got rid of Cancelo? There are, but ultimately there are cracks there, aren't there? Basically?
Yes, yeah. Someone put out a tweet. Or did a bit of data analysis on how many times City players pass to Haaland.
Yeah.
And basically they don't.
Yeah.
It's which is mad. He's just scored 33 goals in 33 games, and people are still questioning the wisdom of his purchase.
But it's not him. And it's not necessarily City, but it's
like Ronaldo. It's like Ronaldo and United.
Yeah, that no one's denying that both are good, but are both together?
Yeah,
a fit. And Guardiola's got form with that because he took a while to warm to Aguero because Aguero, he sniffed out chances, but he didn't necessarily press from the front.
No.
And then he famously had, a lack of a relationship with Ibrahimovic at Barcelona. Because Ibrahimovic just wanted service. A tall, rangy striker who scores lots of goals, doesn't seem to fit in a Guardiola system. It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, so what have they got Haaland for?
But they got him because they could. And ultimately, Haaland will be a better and a different player from being at City and working under Pep as well. And let's face it, I mean, they're second in the league and they've scored a shed load of goals, and he's going to break, a season record, I think, by a mile. So, it is right. And that's the thing. They've set such a high standard that actually people are now questioning it because they've just dropped.
Actually, there. Did I read? I think Albania might have put out another tweet during the week, which gave the lie to the fact that City have dropped much at all. I
don't think they have they?
No, they haven't. It's us that's actually elevated.
We're doing really, really well.
Yeah, we've
really well.
We've taken them by surprise a little bit. And look, we've still got 14 games to go, so we could still finish a distant second at this rate. We could finish third at this rate. I'm a little bit concerned about Manchester United. I don't know. Is Rashford injured? Is he out for tomorrow? He went off towards the end of their last game, and my Man United mate was a little bit concerned about potential.
I haven't seen anything.
I mean, the thing against United is the number of games they're having because they're still in the FA Cup. They got the league games to fill in, and then they've got the final tomorrow, and then they've got the Europa League, obviously, and they'll go through. I mean, they're playing Real Betis. I actually think that's a trickier game for them than Sporting for us.
Is it Betis that have got the squad of a lot of sort of ex-Premier League players? Is that where Monreal ended up and David Silva? Is that Betis?
I don't know. All I know is they won last night 3-2 after being 2-0 down, but the opposition Elche had 3 players sent off.
Oh, blimey.
So, tasty game. Yeah, tasty game.
Jesus.
Right, okay, under 40 minutes.
There we go.
Right, not bad for 2 geezers who haven't watched a minute of the game today.
And we won't be able to watch on Wednesday either.
No, I believe so. I mean,
Not on telly.
I'll be tutoring till 8:30. So what time's kickoff? 7:45.
I've got tutoring that night, but I'll be done by then. That's good.
All right,
So
7:45.
I'll be listening. Arsenal player again. Me and Adrian Clark, hopefully.
Well, more of the same.
More of the same.
Actually, I want a few more goals just to get confidence into more players.
It's an easy enough team talk from Arteta, isn't it? It's like, you remember a few weeks ago when these lot beat you and all their tails were up? Right, it's them.
Yeah,
get at it.
So, absolutely. Right, okay. Well, yeah, and then we're back. I'll see you. We'll chat again on Wednesday evening, maybe after the game. Although, there's been no match of the day either. I don't know.
No.
When we'll see it, will it be like extended highlights on Sky after the game or something? I don't know.
Who knows?
Anyway, we'll chat then, and then we'll see. I'll catch up with you on Saturday. Anyway,
Okay.
Take care. Bye.
See you at Bournemouth.
Yeah.